we were trying something different with YouTube, and of course it just completely.
There we go.
Okay. So.
What were we talking about?
The bridal Bowery mini Bowery available for pre-order, and then I was going to talk about the mini Shelby redesign.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Okay, so as you guys know, we've been talking back and forth about. So this is our new mini Shelby bucket bag design, redesign technically. If you've been around the last few lives, we've been talking about a couple of things. One is the strap length. We made it just a tad bit shorter than it was because it was just a little bit over long, and I felt like anyone who was shorter would just end up, it would just be too much. So we made it a little bit shorter, but I think we've been able to like capture all the sizes one would need. And then the other big change was the closure. We had talked about, so right now, the closure on this prototype is a really simple but really pretty clip, and we talked about mocking up a zipper, and because the original mini Shelby had both a lid and a zipper, and it was like kind of a lot, so I wanted to try mocking up a zipper and putting that in place of the clip. We did it. Here is the mocked up piece. I clipped it in place. It looked totally fine. I wasn't in love with it. I'm not gonna lie. Something about the clip and the way that it comes out, I think looks nicer, looks more interesting. And also that zipper in milled without fully doubling it up is so soft that it makes the zipper actually more difficult to use. I feel like if I were to do that zipper design, I would have to do it in bridal, which I love that the outside of this is bridal and that the inside is milled. So I think I'm like 99% sure we're gonna end up sticking with this closure. So do you do computer bags? We have bags that can fit computers. They aren't necessarily designed for computers, if that makes sense. So you'd have to definitely know the size of your laptop to make sure it's going to fit in there. But it's not like meant to protect your computer or anything. We just do have bags that will fit computers. So one of our new bags right here, which is one of our new Mave designs, is going to be able to fit a small laptop and our Luna bag, which you can't see here. Should also, this is like an old prototype, but this would fit a laptop as well. Again, small laptop. But yeah, so the main conclusion in this, I'm gonna try one other experiment of a closure that I thought of to see if I like it. I have a feeling it's gonna be more difficult than I'm thinking, and I might not fall in love with it, so we'll see. But I have a feeling we're like most likely sticking with the clip as the closure.
I think it offers something different than what we've done in the past, and I think it's a fun experiment to try. You said we put the zipper in there and we weren't really feeling it, which surprised us, I think.
I agree. It almost it's such a weird thing because like when you look at the bag from here, like you don't even see the closure, so it seems weird that it would matter, but it almost made the bag boring because it was just so covered. I don't know how else to put that.
Yeah, you see like the detail. I don't know how to explain it, but we both were in agreement that the clip was the way to go, which, like I said, surprised us.
I don't know what she did with her treats. Trying to like give Penny stuff to play with while we're chatting. So yeah, I think we're gonna stick with the clip. We're gonna try one other quick thing, and then that's probably gonna be it.
And we'll talk about it a little bit later. We have a full list of dates, including when that one is going to launch.
Right. Okay, what's next? Okay, so updates for actually, let's talk about the names for the two bigger bags. Right. So we decided to stick with Mave, which...
For these two?
Yeah, so it's gonna basically be a whole little Mave collection. I I don't have this is like a really,
Yeah.
this was the very first prototype, so it's not exactly right. But Mave, Mini Mave.
We were going back and forth, and a lot of times, like, the names just kind of form naturally.
Yeah.
And I feel like we struggled naming this bag specifically for some reason because it was similar to the Maves, and we also needed a way to differentiate them because we couldn't just be like mini. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't feeling right, so
Yeah.
we decided to stick with the Maves and also differentiate them with a number.
Right. So this is the big guy, which I was saying before will fit a very small laptop, but again, it's not like a laptop bag per se. This is going to be the Mave 24. And then our little guy here, which has clips on the back for a crossbody, is our Mave 16. Okay, so that is what we stuck with names. We just felt like it's like a mini collection. It's the Mave collection, basically, kind of like our Bauhaus collection that we had before.
It keeps the name shorter and simple, and, you know, we had a lot of ideas going back and forth, but like I said, none of them felt like they fit those bag designs.
Right. So yeah, Mave 24. This guy, sorry, YouTube. I can't tell what YouTube's doing. Okay. And then the Mave 16.
So, and we have launch dates for these also coming up.
Yes. The other thing I want to talk about before we get into that is just the update on the back of the other Maves. So, I know I need that. Okay, so this is our mini Mave. Our big Mave has a very similar back, so you can see the lid like goes down into this pocket. The pocket is not meant to be functional. You probably on the bigger Mave could maybe stick a cell phone in there if you had like maybe no case on or something, but it's not meant to be functional. It was just to cover up how the lid attached to the body of the bag. However, in doing the new larger Mave designs, I really loved how we resolved how this connects to how the lid connects to the body of the bag. So we are going to, in order to make them smaller Maves, the original Maves, kind of go even more with these bags and make them more
they're gonna match
sleek or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna do the same thing. So we are eliminating the back pocket on the mini Mave and the Mave, and the lid will attach the same as this does. So we can see how
for
that's
the for the bag creators, that means new dies for us.
Yes, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but that's how it goes sometimes.
But yeah, and to be perfectly honest, getting this back pocket and lid to line up perfectly every time was incredibly stressful and frustrating, and I really just wanted to come up with something that would, especially the big Mave, because it has that interior pocket and the accordion effect. It's a lot, and it takes a long time to do. It's got a lot of hand stitching. So to simplify that just a little bit, eliminating that back pocket and, you know, making it match this guy, we decided was the way to go.
Also, if you guys have questions, feel free to pop them in there, and we can get
Yes.
to them as we chat about stuff.
Yeah.
Clip on the bucket bag works, doesn't clash with the aesthetic like a zipper would.
Right.
There we go.
I agree.
Yeah, agreed. Dope work as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, that really surprised us. We considered doing it. She probably already said this. I was like off in somewhere else land. We considered doing it in like a bridal leather, doubling up the milled, and like other options that would kind of force it to fit, but it wasn't feeling right. So
it wasn't.
That's an indication that you to do something different.
Right. Okay. Next, chestnut. You talk about chestnut?
Were there any other
Oh.
updates for like redesign?
No, it was the 2 lids and the bucket bag were like the updates.
Okay.
Oh wait, navy.
Navy. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I didn't
Yes.
write that down.
That's it. So this is our mini Barry in navy, but this goes for all of our navy bags. We originally have this like slightly contrasting lighter blue edge. Actually matches my hat very well. We have decided going forward, so anyone who's ordered navy, at this point, you're getting this edge paint because that's what you saw.
What's pictured is what you're getting.
Right. We're going to be updating them so that the edge paint will be navy match.
Ignore the green. So this is a two-tone.
Right.
But that's the matching edge paint.
Right. Because all our other bags do. All of our other bags, the edge paint matches the leather exactly. When we originally started with navy, the navy was quite dark and looked almost black, which
Actually,
was...
it looks kind of black.
It does, which is funny, but because in person it doesn't. But, so we decided to do a slightly contrasting edge paint to make it look a little bit more blue. As time has gone on, the navy looks more navy, just getting it from the tannery, and so we feel confident in going forward and doing a navy edge paint for our navy bags. So the contrasting edge will be going away, and we will be switching to a matching navy edge paint for all our navy bags going forward. So
starting for April order week is the next time you can get a navy bag or try to purchase one. They will all be edge paint, edge paint match.
Someone asked if we ship abroad, I think. Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
do. Just you want to check your VAT tax to make sure it's not going to be crazy for you.
It's getting more complicated, but
I'd imagine.
check with your local jurisdictions to see what additional taxes you may have to pay for that.
Right.
If you do.
About how many bags do you think you produce per month or week? It depends. So...
Each design takes a different amount of time.
Yeah.
Each design also batches in a different number.
Right. So we try to always batch all of our orders, which is why we do order week. So we have the first week of every month, you can place an order for everything that we have available. And then we look at all the orders, and from there batch like designs and colors together so that it makes it a little faster as far as production goes. But like Nick said, it definitely depends on the bag. I would say, excluding the Maves, they take a very long time to do.
They do.
But if we exclude them, how many do you think I can get done in a week?
I think you can average like 40
a month.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. And that is just the two of us making everything. Yeah. So Nick cuts everything and preps everything for me. So what he's doing, he's cutting everything out. He's burnishing and painting edges that need to get painted and burnished before assembly. And then I take everything and assemble it and finish it.
The more, if I'm able to punch holes and put feet on things. And,
right, which he can do for some of the bags.
Get it as far along as I can before sending it to the real expert. That's super helpful.
Yeah, so we've slowly gotten better.
We're evolving.
And faster, yeah.
When you say new dyes, do you mean leather dyes to click out pieces? If
Yes.
so, do you use to make dyes? Looking for a company. Who do you use? We use, so I always suggest this because if you can find somebody local, that's best because
they're heavy to ship.
And there's a lot of tooling dye makers out there.
Yeah.
That being said, we use a company in Texas called Texas Custom Dyes.
Yes.
They were the very first company we used, and we liked the quality of it, so we continued to use them.
Yeah, I can grab a dye really fast so you can see.
They're a steel rule dye. They have like supports, but you can see mostly through them, which is why we like them.
Yes,
There
basically a giant cookie cutter.
There are ones that are thinner, that are embedded in plastics, that are embedded in woods, that are
foam.
There's all sorts of options, and companies will do different things. So whatever suits your needs best is, give them a call maybe, and they can help you out.
But like Nick said, if you can get someone physically closer to you, the better, just because they are heavy, so shipping can get expensive. But yeah, the main reason we like these is they're super sturdy, they'll last forever, and you can see through them, so you can see any scarring that might be on the hide that you want to avoid. So yeah.
And I think the rule of thumb is the smaller the die, like if you're doing something that needs to really line up, you probably need a laser cut, like exact. All of ours are a natural bend, so they're not like perfect because we don't need them to be. We sand most of the edges.
Right.
And-
You can use, this company can do
Yeah.
the exact, like super exact dies.
But if you need something to be like exactly folded in
Right.
on it, then I would do like a more precise option. Is edge paint actually painted or is it just the term used for trim? So you're
it's
thinking of
painted.
binding, which is just sewn on, which is like a piece of leather like kind of over the edge. It is paint, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
there's
sometimes
two,
called dyes.
there's many ways you can finish an
Varnish,
edge
lacquer.
of leather. We bevel burn it. We sand, bevel, burnish, and paint all of our edges.
And we
There
started
are
out
companies.
raw. Imagine that. I think about
Yeah,
that every once in
and
a
a
while.
lot
like,
of
that's
companies
crazy.
do raw edge, so they
Yeah.
don't finish their edges at all. And then there's a lot of companies that will do a bound edge or binding on the edges. You can think of like Coach. Most of their, I don't know about their bags now, but their vintage bags all had a bound edge, which is basically like a very thin piece of leather that's wrapped and then sewn around the edge of the bag.
Leather, the edge finishing is
It's
the
time
most
consuming.
time-consuming part.
Mhm.
Not the most. Well, it might be
Um,
the most time-consuming part.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The finishing is always the most time consuming.
But it's what really can change the look of your bag and design and all
Oh,
that.
definitely.
Has a huge effect on it.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you. I saw Texas Custom. I was looking at them. I think there's Milwaukee Steel Rule.
Yep, a lot of people
Um,
use them. I think that they might have wood in the middle. I can't remember.
I don't remember. I know Weaver
Weaver
started
does.
doing them.
Hmm. There's a bunch of them, and then I mean,
Leather
there's
Stamp
probably-
Maker makes ones with stamps that you can also get like an edge, so you can cut out exact shapes. So if you're doing like
Yeah, coasters.
keychains or coasters or something that needs to be like that.
Stamped and cut out perfectly so they match up. They're really good with that. Yeah, there's lots of different ones. Okay, back to the list.
Initial redesign package.
Navy,
I think we're-
chestnut.
Chestnut.
Okay.
Well, okay. So let's just go through some dates real quick.
Okay.
Has there ever been a design that Nick was immediately that was immediately vetoed by Nick, or is he pretty amendable? There's definitely designs where I'm just like, I don't like this, personally. But am I the target customer? I don't think so.
True. What?
Trying to remember. I mean, I would have never created the Bauhaus collection bags. The Boda bag was the most recent one where I was like, I was not sure if like,
Oh yeah, and I was like,
I was
no,
like,
we're
eh.
definitely doing this.
I feel indifferent to this. But like, I think aside from that,
I mean, we talk through a lot of things. Sometimes I do think it's best if I don't tell Nick some
we keep
things.
small secrets from each other until
Yeah.
it's time.
And just like make the prototype and then show it, and it's a lot easier to explain
Yeah.
visually when you can see it, touch it, feel it, try it on, than like even sometimes looking at a sketch doesn't really get it totally across. So there's some times where I'm like, this is a risky one, I'm just gonna make a prototype and we'll talk about it when it's done. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, we do talk about things and how to change them, make them better, blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't think you've ever been like, no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we see the world in a similar visual way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a lot of like persuasion to be had.
Yeah. Agreed.
Also, like, I want to see what people think. So if she designs it and loves it, and like, I want to see how it's taken, like how customers react to it and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just about the design, and you can get into so many details with
Yeah.
each one. Where is it in the market? Where is it in the collection? Size? There's so much stuff.
Yeah.
Oops. That's a great. I don't know if we've answered that in a while. He was on the fence on banana shape. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The Boda bag.
Well, I wasn't sure how practical it is, and I wouldn't say our designs are like incredibly practical. They're not like cargo
we try
pants.
to do yeah, we try
Like,
to do a combination of
the function of them. We try to balance the form and the function.
right.
And I think lead towards form over function.
Yes. Agreed.
Anyway, sorry. We were going to talk about dates because we have a lot of dates coming up.
Yes. Okay.
So obviously, right now we're in Red Bridal, so
Right.
we're going to go through those designs.
Yeah.
Up until the 13th is when that's over. So this was the only time to
13th
get
of what?
April.
Okay.
The only time to get Red Bridal is part of this pre-order. And then, so first,
Oh, here's your little date thing.
my dates. I'm not going to remember this. So
I was pretty impressed. I
4/14
wasn't sure where you were looking.
4/14, the milled Mave is coming.
Made
Milled
crossbody.
Mave crossbody is coming in our standard colors.
Right,
We did the
so
pre-order in red.
Yep.
And now we're moving to just the standard colors.
Right.
And that's this bag. And this is in burgundy. And just to, the burgundy comes in a little bit of a range of colors. Like this is
Yeah.
on the lighter side, and then obviously it gets a little darker.
Yep.
And then the following, no, the same day. Oh my God, what are we doing? Chestnut starts.
Yes.
So we're gonna pre-order chestnut as each design like we normally do, and that starts on the 14th as well. Unless I read the date wrong. I did also send this all in our email to our newsletter subscribers.
Yes.
So it's all in one place.
Yeah. If you are subscribed.
Because there's a lot.
Yes. A lot
So we'll
going
move
on.
through chestnut. Do you want to? We can share.
Yeah.
We made 2 since the last time we were on the live, I think.
Yeah, I think so. So this is the mini Bowery and chestnut. She looks very pretty in this color. And you can also see the milled on the inside.
And a new pocket.
Yep.
What?
So it's the milled is the pebbly texture in here. It's a bit softer. But yeah, so this is the new color that we're going to be launching. So starting April 14th, we're going to go design by design, pre-ordering in this color. We also finished up, and this comes with a crossbody strap, just so we're clear on that. And then we also finished the Boda bag in chestnut.
Yeah, every time, each new one that's been completed, I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah, it looks
Because
really good.
we're replacing our English tan color went away, and we're replacing it with this,
Yeah.
which is kind of always what I
what
wanted
you would
it to
imagine.
be.
Yeah, this gets longer.
Because like when I would edit photos, I would always like make them more moody, and it would end up looking like this, and I'd have to re-edit it back towards the English tan color.
Mm.
So it was really nice to see this,
Just see it.
the chestnut, just be the color.
Just be.
Just be the color. How often do you rethink in your mind the details on a bag that's already been marketed? Pretty often, which is funny.
Yeah.
But
The reason is well, I'd say it happens once I start making a lot of them. So like, obviously I think through the details when I design the bag, but then once I start making them, especially like batch making them,
yeah, the production informs a different level of your bag.
yeah, there becomes another part of it where it's like, okay, this is hard for me to reproduce perfectly every single time. Sometimes that will happen, and that'll be like, this is a reason to redesign this bag, or this part of the bag. And it's never like I'm doing something crazy like it doesn't work or anything like that. Like, even with the Maves that
there's
we've made,
small changes.
yeah, it's always something smaller. Or I'm like, this pocket could be more like
Better.
functional. Like before we had the zipper pockets on the inside, which are great, but the new pocket is just much easier and faster to use. So yeah, there's lots of things like that that will come up as I'm making them over and over and over again.
And sometimes it's skill based. So
Yeah,
we
that's
had
true, too.
top handles on our mini Boweries, and they were just
They were just like strap weight
10 ounce
leather.
strap, 8 to 10 ounce strap weight,
Yeah.
and that worked fine. But then we went to the rolled handle,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful. So
Yeah, it just made it elevated that bag a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so,
ooh, is chestnut close to caramel or caramel, depending on where you are from? I would say it's a little darker.
Yeah. So the difference between the English tan that we had before and this, so the tan was a bit more orange.
Yeah.
And this is more pushing a little bit more towards red, but it's like if you took the tan and made it a little bit darker and pushed it a little more red.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I edited it.
Yeah.
Photographically.
Yeah, to me it makes me think of like horse tack in a way, or like
yeah.
riding
Just to give you
boots.
a sense. So this is English tan.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is wrong side. And I would say it's even
It's like
slightly lighter on camera for some reason.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Just slightly. That's better.
It is like
get
a
that angle.
slightly dark caramel, I could say.
Like burnt caramel?
Yeah, that was what I was thinking in my head. Maybe we should have named it that.
No. I don't like
um,
food references.
yeah.
But yes, so we're super excited about chestnut.
Yeah, it's really pretty, and it's a very like a color that will always make sense. Like it will go with everything.
And I'm excited to do photo shoots because
Yeah.
as soon as it gets warm enough, we can get out and do some of those.
I'm excited for that as well.
Whoop, whoop. Chestnut. So that'll be every week will be a new design, and then the following week will be the mini Shelby redesign launch, which is 4/21, because we just nailed down some of those details.
Yes, great.
Hopefully we'll be able to get a big photo shoot with all this together at once.
Yeah. Yep. I want to do a big photo shoot with all the chestnut for sure. Because that will just make sense also.
It will. And then we're going to talk about the Mave 24. So this is going to be the first time we're trying something like this with a launch. So the Mave 24 and the 16 will launch as two-tone bags. So we talked about that before. And
is there a reason that your slip pockets are curved instead of straight across? It's just two reasons. One, I think it's more aesthetically pleasing and goes with the natural shape of our bags.
Yeah.
The other is it's actually just easier to get in and out of it. When you cut a curve into something, even if you sew it flat, it makes it easier for it to open up and get stuff in there. When it's like too flat on flat, it's going to be more difficult to open up and get your hand in there. So those are the reasons.
this is 4 of them, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So the two-tone, we talked about this a while back.
Oh,
The
yeah.
two-tone will come in 4 color
options.
combinations.
And to be clear, right now, this will be a one-time deal, right?
Yes.
So this will be a special launch for the Mave 24 and the Mave 16. They will come in milled two-tone option first,
Right.
and that might be the only time we do it.
For the two-tone.
For the two-tone. So first, I'm going to show you the color options in our Betties because we have them mocked up. So the first color option is going to be black and red, which is really fun. Again, this is the Mave 24 and the Mave 16. So they will come first, pre-order in milled with the two-tone. The next will be burgundy and navy. So here's burgundy, interior will be navy.
And they'll be pre-ordering for a week like we normally do.
Yep.
But with all 4 color options at once.
Right. Next would be navy and olive inside.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And the last one will be olive outside.
This is one I
Burgundy
like,
inside.
but didn't really think I was
I
going
really
to
like
it.
it. Yeah. And
maybe because it's just there, and I don't know. It's just nice.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna show you what that will essentially look like when you open up the bag. The color isn't exactly right, but
So the Mave 24 will be on 4/28, which is April 28th.
okay. So this is our Mave 24, the big guy here. She's got a little penny tassel on right now. So when you open her up, this is not the color, but
Yeah.
just so you understand, like the interior will all be the other color.
And I don't know if you can tell. Not really.
Yeah.
This is an old color,
This
sienna,
is sienna, but
because we had some extras.
it will be olive and then burgundy.
Burgundy.
Yeah.
Is Nick the campaign photographer?
Yes.
Yes. Whoop whoop. Any plans for more tassel charms? You know what? I don't think we've really thought about that.
So
Unless she has. Which...
not necessarily. Well, I have a little bit. Not necessarily a tassel charm. So we do have tassel charm for our bags. This is our penny. She's on backwards on this one. Oh, let me just unclip it. I did actually have another tassel charm.
There
I did,
we go.
but
way to open it up.
this is our penny. So there's a clip on here. So you can clip around like that. I do have another tassel charm right here. I don't no idea when I will be working on that. However, we have also been talking about some bags that we made in the past that we might bring back again. And one of those, I keep playing with the idea of adding tassels to that. I can't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't. It's like I'm
Can't help you.
speaking another language. It's fine. So yes and no.
Are you guys also live on other platforms right now? Yeah, so we're on YouTube as well. I mean, Instagram, because you're asking from YouTube. Love y'all's work. Big fan. Okay, so that is the 24, and
Yes.
that's how it's going to start. And then the same will be true for the 16,
Mm-hmm.
which is 5/5, is when that will pre-order.
In the two-tone.
So the idea is they will come back in the fall in bridal, solid, and then also in milled, solid. And as we get closer to fall, we'll have actual dates for those.
Yeah. And just to be clear too, like what I could see you be like, why wouldn't you just continue the two-tone? It is much more difficult to sew two-tone than it is to do solid. The reason
Sounds simple, but it isn't.
Yeah, it's not. The reason being is in order to do it at least the way that I'm doing it, my bobbin has to have one color in it and my top thread has to have another color in it so that you don't have mismatched thread. So like you can see here, the thread there matches my sienna leather on the inside and the outside matches my olive on the outside. So you have to then be switching out your threads quite a bit. So it is more time consuming. I also have to make sure not that I don't anyway, but like really have to be sure that my tension is like perfect and that there's no little knot coming through because then you're gonna get a different color thread popping out.
Even for cutting, you have to make sure that like some things are interchangeable, but like these aren't. So you have to really know how the bag comes together, where things overlap.
Yeah.
So like if something does have like a blemish that you're trying to cover with like a seam,
Also,
you gotta be extra careful.
sometimes we'll batch like colors together. So
True.
like if I had to do a milled olive mini Bowery and a milled two-tone olive Mave 24, I couldn't batch them because I would have two different threads in the machine and I would have to constantly be switching out my
They really are
bobbin,
just like one at a time.
which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is time consuming, especially when you're doing a lot. So that is the reason that we're gonna do it for a short time and then it's gonna be gone. So it will be a very special thing. We will also be offering, I think at that same time, probably for both weeks, the Bettys in the two-tone. Right?
We'll see.
Okay. But yeah, and then once that is all done in the fall, we're gonna re-release the Mave 24 and the Mave 16 in solid bridle and in solid milled.
Correct.
And go on the
Out
way.
into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charms are becoming all the rage. They
Someone
are.
say that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
That's true. I guess I could work on that.
Yeah, I like charms. I don't want it to become too, I don't know what the right word is, cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to put too much cheese
It's
on
also,
it.
it can be a little distracting for us, I think. We tend to always do best with our
With larger items.
larger items than smaller stuff. Which style is the most labor intensive? That's a great question. It is
Mave.
our Mave bag, which is like the original Mave. This again is a prototype, so it's not exactly like this. The closure's different, whatever. The reason is it has the accordion here, and then this interior pocket, the zipper pocket, that makes it like, that's actually a really good shot. You can see really well in there. And then it's not stitched because I never got back to it on this one, but this, the gussets on this bag are fully hand stitched. As well as, I mean, there's a little bits of hand stitching in every bag.
She puts a
just
little
about.
flashlight in there.
I do. I literally have a tiny flashlight that I stick inside the bag so that I can see where to pull my thread through. So these guys are very time consuming, definitely the most time consuming bag we have.
So that was about like 8 dates for you guys, so
Yeah.
good luck.
Good.
Or good luck to us, good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks. I'll leave it. But yeah, is that everything? Did we go through it all?
I think so. It's so weird having this backwards. Have you here we go. Have you ever thought of designing a hobo bag?
Okay, we had 2 bags that I would say kind of went in that direction. One of which I'm considering bringing back at some point, but
Molly tote? Is that the other one?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, what are you talking about?
in meld.
It's a long time
specifically.
ago.
Yeah, it was.
20.
I tend
19?
to love structure. It's just who I am. It's what I've always loved, no matter what area I've been working in. And so I'm gonna say probably not. However, yeah, the 2 bags that we did do were the Molly tote and the Veda bag were the closest, I would say, to like a boho-y, slouchy type of bag. I will say I'm considering bringing the Veda bag back possibly in the future. I've also been considering the Molly, I guess, in a way, but yeah, I tend to really love structure, and so probably not. That's a really good question. Yeah.
What are some long-term plans for Hemlock and Hyde, such
Oh, boy.
as scaling up or expanding past you two? Oh man.
Yeah.
Opening up a can of worms.
We literally talk about this all the time, and it is probably the number one thing I'd say on my mind most of the time.
Making bags.
It's just, it is,
Scale!
yeah,
This is
kind
you.
of.
Yeah, it's complicated.
It is.
For a lot of different reasons. Making bags, bringing somebody on would require quite a bit of training, in my opinion, which obviously isn't impossible.
You hungry?
I'm a little hungry.
I mean, so, okay. Yeah, we talk about scaling up quite a bit. We talk about getting a space outside
What
of.
stepping stones we could take
It's the stepping stones that get us from literally the basement of our home is where we work. This is our shop, to a shop outside of our home. It is a large expense to go from a space that we don't pay any rent on, is just part of our normal mortgage or whatever, to having to pay rent, heating, electricity, water, internet,
employee.
and an employee, at least one, at a space outside of our house. It is a really big risk. It's a big jump. We've thought of many different ways that we can take stepping stones to do so. I think we will constantly be talking about this until it happens. And we're always scheming and trying to figure out ways we can do it. We just haven't figured out exactly the right, I think, timing, space, and stepping stones to do so quite yet. So
And a lot of that, I think, is like location based.
it is.
So for us, the convenience of working steps away from where we live is great.
Yeah.
So ideally, it would be something that would be pretty close to our current home.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially because we also have a little boy that we literally walk to school and back. So, yeah, that also makes it a bit tricky.
But like ideally, what would happen is we'd have, that space. We would have a small team of people that we would train, show them how we do what we do,
yeah.
and, I think the way I look at it is if we were in that place, I would pretty much want to just like cap our capabilities, basically, how much we could produce, and just like maintain that.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not looking to
Be like a crazy giant.
Be crazy.
Conglomerate-y. Yeah, that's the new word.
I think when you scale past a certain size, you lose a lot. You lose like the humanness of it. You lose the personal touch that can happen.
The control of your designs.
Quality control.
Yeah, and quality.
Designs. So there's probably more of a ceiling to what we'd want to do than like,
yeah,
that kind of thing.
And I think we're both on the same page as to like generally what that is.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's really about the stepping stones to get us there, the timing, the location. Things just have to like come together to make that happen, or we just have to be like, all right, we're gonna take a humongous leap.
Check out the biggest one you've ever seen in your life.
See what happens. Which is just risky and scary, and we have a child to consider, so that's kind of why those things haven't happened yet. But
your work is very fantastic and beautiful.
Thank
Heart.
you.
We love. We watch your videos all the time.
Oh,
cool.
Thank you.
Sometimes staying small is the best.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
ideally we do want to grow, but not big.
Not huge.
Like, yeah.
I've worked on teams that were like 8-10 people. I've worked on
which to me would be
that
like
350 people.
Right.
And it's very different.
Yeah.
So I think ideally it would be small.
Yeah, agreed.
Like not bigger than 2.
Yeah. Like
smaller
tops,
than 20.
probably like 8 to 10 would be tops.
And I think at that point that would give us the freedom to do a lot more of like the photography, the marketing, the
photo shoots, all that.
Some of the other fun stuff that we always feel kind of pressed for time to do.
Yes.
When instead of like
I think we we also get to do a lot more. I'd hope we get to do a lot more experimenting and
we would create a bag design leather lab.
Yeah.
Where she would live.
Yeah. And then the other hopes
cool
is always being able to teach others. And having a space to do lessons, because that is something that we talk about as just something that we would like to do, but also something that could potentially help us pay the bills, and having that space but would also just provide us literally the space to do something like that. So it's part of the dream, but one day. You thumbs up yourself.
Could a taller Boda bag be considered as a structured hobo? I mean, if it was larger.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you can really consider a hobo bag.
Yeah, I typically think them to be like slouchier,
mushy shape.
Sort of.
Yeah, that's typically what I kind of think in my head too. But I see what you're saying. If you made it really big. And like, maybe made it at a mill. I mean, we make it that
woven designs. I've seen like woven leather everywhere, or woven plastic. I don't know what's out there. Yeah. I've been seeing that everywhere. So that could add. We're not doing that, but that could add more structure to a bag like that if that's something you're looking for. Growing the team would be for production or any other types of roles. It would. I mean, I would imagine this is how it would work. Like, it would be mostly for production.
Yeah.
But give us the space to do other things. Like, obviously, Land could design more bags.
Yep.
she could be more precise in how she supports production.
Yep.
Um,
On photo shoots specifically, I could not be the model, and I could.
she's really into not modeling the bags
So
anymore.
very much. Listen, guys, I'm about to be 41,
Ugh.
and having my picture taken over and over is just not ideal for me. But yeah, I would love to be not the one modeling the bags, and instead styling the shoot would be like, I would love to get to do that, because also when Nick is taking a picture of me, I have no idea like what I actually look like, and I would love to just be like, oh wait, let's just like turn the bag like this and like get your hair out of there and then back up and like not be in the picture. But yeah, I'd say
we did that one time.
We did
A long time ago.
and that was really fun.
It was.
It's a lot of work though, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would mostly be for production, right?
I would think so.
Although, who knows? I feel like once you're in that position of being able to do that, there's probably things that we don't think about that would come up. But like we do a lot.
I mean, I could outsource like accounting and stuff.
True. That's
the fun stuff.
That's very true. That would be nice.
But yeah, I think that's mostly what it would be for the time being. And eventually, I think if it grew to a place where we'd have like a floor manager or like
right.
Or creative director, or an assistant creative director.
I was like, I'm the creative director.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Cool. Love this brand's transparency.
Thank you.
Cool.
We always try to be transparent. That's always what we've done.
You're a great model, though. That's what I keep saying. She's like, no.
Listen, I'm getting old and tired. It's not.
So would you decline a collaboration offer from a company like, say, Anthropology? It's interesting.
It would have to.
Interesting.
It is interesting. It would have to be the right collaboration, and I'm not saying. So I know Anthropology really well. We lived
It's
in
based
Philly.
in Philly, yeah.
Yeah, they're based in Philly. We lived in Philly. We're just outside Philly now. It would have to make whatever the collaboration exactly would just have to make sense with what we're doing. It's not. I wouldn't be like fully opposed to that.
Yeah, collaborations are tricky because they have to
Make sense for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. Is that to keep the integrity of your brand? Yeah, so like that's
Oh, I see what you're saying.
okay. Yeah,
It would so depend on like the terms of the collaboration.
to be incredibly transparent, cost wise, it probably wouldn't work for them.
True.
I don't think
That
it would
is
work
true.
for them. Because
of the leather
what we
that
offer
we use.
is
Mhm.
our materials are expensive.
And the way that we finish our bags.
Yeah, everything we do is expensive, as far as like getting
Mhm.
it to the bag.
Yeah. I totally agree. So if we're gonna talk about Anthropology specifically, like I would say majority of their bags are not actually leather.
Yeah.
They're fake leather. Or what they will call vegan leather, which is not leather, it's plastic.
The retails would have to be probably pretty steep.
Yeah.
Or because I don't think we could produce at a cost where they would
Make any
purchase.
money. Yeah. And then so also our leather is vegetable tanned. It comes from it's tanned in the US. It's cows from North America. There's a lot of reasons why it's expensive, and then again, the way we finish our edges is time consuming and therefore expensive. So, I mean, unless they could figure out some sort of alternative that we were like into, like potentially a bound edge.
If there was another company like that was like a slow fashion brand that also maybe we shared a customer or a customer base like that benefited both of us.
Right.
That's such a complex question.
It is. I know what you're saying though, like.
But like we said earlier, like the things would have to match up, right? So if like, for the sake of argument, if like Walmart came to us, which they actually have before, and said, "Hey, do you want to be blah blah blah?" And we're just like, that's not quite what we're going after.
Yeah.
For many different reasons, but and the same for like Amazon's always trying to get us onto their platform, and it's like that's not what we're going for.
No.
just not possible.
Mm.
I can agree. Your work can never compare to anyone other than anyone of my other brand bags.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's very nice to hear. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it's the tricky part about us is like we're e-commerce, right? So you don't get to see it until you
Yeah.
get it, and you're taking a risk in getting something from a company like us. But also, once you get it, I think you realize how different like
The
the
quality of
materials
it
really are.
is. Yeah.
And
And we always hope, I mean, our hope is always to, you know, over deliver in that department.
Sure.
So that when you get your bag, you're like, yes, I'm keeping this bag and this is forever.
it's funny, like when we're just out and around and like in a store and I'm like at whatever store, and you see something and then you look at it and you look closer at it and you're like, wow, these seams are like not, this thread's not,
Yep.
this material's not,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, anthropology may be a bad example, but I
That's okay.
understand the response.
Yeah.
I think that was a good.
I think that was a good one
Good
because
one.
they've also
We're
come
aware
to
of
us
how they
before.
exist.
Not it was back when we did hats, but
Yeah.
it was a similar scenario, and it just didn't totally make sense. So, yeah. I appreciate having pre-loved as an option, not only for circularity but also for lower barrier to
Yes.
entry. Yes, totally agree.
It's so cool to see bags come back after
Yes.
they've had some life. It's so cool.
Yeah, and that again speaks to our quality and the quality of our materials, that we can do that because
Bags are gonna be around forever.
yeah, they are a big investment, and we do love that they can come back to us patinaed and beautiful, and like we just give them a little bit of a shine up.
Yeah.
And
Maybe sometimes we update them
upgrade like
with like the
handles
newest,
or whatever.
the newest, latest, and greatest.
Yeah. Or maybe like put a new crossbody strap on it, that sort of thing. But yeah, and then be able to put it out in the world again at a lower price point that you guys, you know, really appreciate is awesome.
Bye
So,
guys, have a great day. You too.
yeah, you too.
How do you decide what type of customers to target? So we kind of touched on it a little bit, but you have to target customers that allow you to keep yourself in business. I think is just the best way to look at it, based on your costs, your business costs, your overheads, and all that stuff. Once you price it out and figure that, you can see if there's a market for what you're doing.
Right.
And sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. And that's the tricky part. No one knows.
Well, you go.
Always curious where you source your leather from. Pennsylvania, a place called Wicket and Craig.
Right in our home state, which is awesome. Will the original Mave be available again on the website? Yes.
Yep, it'll
Yep.
be back for April order week.
Yeah, so first week of every month is order week. It's when we take all of our regular orders, nothing that's like a pre-order, like our new design, new color, that sort of thing. So yeah, first week of April is the next time you'll be able to order the Mave bag.
And outside of order week, on the product pages, you can sign up for an email or a
Oh,
text
yeah.
that will get you one time.
Right. So
once
right
they come
now
back.
you could go on the website and sign up to be notified as soon as the bag you're looking for is back in stock, which means available for purchase. You will only get an email or text, whatever you decide.
And you can sign up for
that
the
one
newsletter
time.
there too if you really want to. If you don't, whatever.
Right, you can opt out to not do it.
Um,
But yeah, you just get notification that your bag is available for purchase.
and we give newsletter subscribers and people
Oh,
who
yeah.
are looking for that notification a little bit of a head start.
Yep.
We have
Because we do hit limits as the other part of it is, so order week, if we get too many, a certain number of orders, and we have to stop because we cannot promise that your bag would get to you in a reasonable amount of time. So we will close down early when that happens, which does happen.
it might be closed for April.
Excuse me.
Based on
Not close for April, close early in April.
based on what's in queue.
Yeah.
And all the crazy pre-orders. What are we doing? Cool. Didn't know that about their refurbishment for the pre-loved. Is that by default or only explicitly written in the product listing? Like if it got a new strap.
Oh,
It's That's a good question. I mean, we do picture the actual bag, so
Yeah,
I can't remember if I
if you write it in
read
there.
it in there or not. I will say when we don't, so like if it's an old style strap and we don't like update it,
Yeah,
it's
you'll
definitely
write that in there. Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, I guess I never thought. I mean, you're the one that writes it, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. But
Trying to think, the last one. I don't think we did because it was the last
We
one that
probably
we did was
should.
probably I know it was the mini Bowery, like a rolled handle.
right, yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
We should do that.
And if you have a specific question, you can just also get in touch with us.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay.
With all the recent tariff talk, will this affect your pricing? So it's hard to know.
Yeah, I
Just-
think last week the same question came up actually, and at that point we were like, oh shit, this actually might really affect our prices. And then of course they like were canceled again. I'm back. It's like so back and
it's
forth.
back and
Who
forth.
knows?
So I will say, generally, if it's driving up prices for one of our vendors or one of the places we get stuff from,
Yeah.
then it's going to. So
Right.
we won't know until, some of them take effect, or if they don't, or it's so back and forth. It's hard to tell. But we're gonna keep an eye on our costs to see what happens.
Yeah, but as of right now, nothing is changing. As of this moment.
All right.
Okay.
That is it for this week. We will see you next week.
Yep.
That's it.
So far as I know.
As far as I know. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be planting my garden.
Oh, this guy can't stop talking about plants. He's so excited
I'm
for
gonna get
spring.
so much dirt. It's not even funny. And so I got so many plants.
Driveway.
I mean, seeds coming.
Oh boy. Okay. Maybe you need to start your own live plant talk with Nick.
Come talk to the
Garden
plants
talk.
with me.
All right, guys. We will see you all next week, hopefully, and probably have more silly updates for you. So,
Yep.
thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. You need a snack.
This makes turning this off more complicated.